Conversations and storytelling helps us connect with each other, teaches us relatable life lessons, and helps us define who we are as humans. This podcast is focused around women from all walks of life, how we grow, navigate, impact the world that we live in to tell the often untold story. The Rise of Woman is a story of loss, growth, triumph, inspiration, fabulous failure, and all in between. Warning, in this podcast, there is cursing and adult content.
Hello, my name is Jay Graham. I'm 40 years old. My zodiac sign is a Taurus, and today I took our little baby girl Chomps to go get groomed for the summer so she's fresh and ready. You're listening to LRI Infinity Let's Talk podcast.
Let's talk. That's Jay. And in this episode, I will have a candid conversation with a woman that has a positive outlook on life, who is adopted, a knowledgeable cannabis educator who misses her father, an entrepreneur, and so much more.
Yes.
Thank you for being here, Jay.
Thank you for
Especially
having
the day after your birthday.
Yes.
Do you remember back in the day, like, you'd be hungover after your birthday? Now you're like, oh, respectable time for bed and shit.
Honestly, I never drank, so I was never hungover.
You're good.
But I'm always in bed in time. I love to sleep.
Okay, y'all. So I have my girl Jay with me. She is an inspiration for so many reasons. She's an entrepreneur. She's a lover of family. She's a lover of animals, the love of her life, of everything medicinal that grows from the earth that you know the actual facts of, and you're not just out there trending and fatting. So it's super cool. And not only that, but you're like a super, super kind person.
Thank you.
And the way we met was so random.
Yes.
It was the stars aligning.
True.
I met you at an adult store that you were working at.
I was working.
And me and my girls, I remember, were at a happy hour, and they were like, let's go to an adult store. And I'm like, okay. Like, for me, it wasn't a big deal, obviously, because I worked gay bar and I'm jaded.
Right.
Sex is sex,
Exactly.
right? So I take them, and then I think we ended up talking about a night that was at the bar, and we needed sponsor, and then from there it was like casual picking stuff up, and then we started having conversations, and then like we just grew to be close
and connected.
Connected. Totally, and it's so crazy. A long time ago.
Yes.
I was still at the university, and so that was in 2011 or 12. So it's been a long time.
It was.
Crazy. So I think it's really important that, like, once again, like, these badges that we have are of this pride and of practice and of experience versus shame and not talking about and everything else. And so I just really think it's important that we get to tell our stories without the extra. Like, when I say something as simple as my dad passed, like, yes, of course you're going to feel some type of way about it, but I don't want my story to always be like, oh, ow, ooh, so sorry. Like, just listen. Right. Like, and so that's what we're doing. Good. And I'm still going to make my sound effects because that's just me as a human, but, like, I want to hear what you have to say. Yes. And I'm excited. And the rise of women is not just of, oh, I did what I was supposed to. I followed the path. I had the kids. I married the man. And we have a nanny and we're successful. Like, that's great. And I think that's a beautiful story. But at the same time, like, a woman's rise is losing, growth, triumph, information. Yeah, sure. Information. Sure, inspiration. Being fabulous in your failures, you know? Yes. And so, and taking shit and turning it into fertilizer and making stuff happen. Mm-hmm. So,
I love that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's been like one of my go-tos. Like,
I love that.
Yeah, because I'll be like, man, this is bullshit. But you know what you can do is, like, make that fertilizer and just, like, grow something better. Yeah, because man, dog shit just gets thrown. Like,
trust.
rapid style. So, what is a moment in your life that has impacted you?
Probably many moments. I think definitely the most would be the death of my father, for sure. I think his death was huge for me, though I kept going forward every day like nothing happened. Years later, did I realize that I was depressed and, just kind of living life, but it definitely impacted everything. I felt like I definitely lost a part of me, a part that has the light that comes out of your eyes.
Yeah.
I feel I'm trying to find it, and it's everything from finding out what color I love to what my hobbies are to what music I like to listen to. I lost it all. So I think that's the most impactful thing that's ever happened in my life. But out of tragedy comes something beautiful. It sparked, the idea of wanting to help more people like him and bring the best products that I can find to Austin and to our community. And that's where it led Mary J.
Yeah. And it's no bullshit. Like, it's funny when you're talking about, like, stories of people and it seems really rehearsed and stuff, but, like, I've known you before.
For sure.
And before both of our dads, your dad.
Yes.
And I knew you when you had just started traveling and learning about this stuff. And you were so serious when you say that. Like, and it's so cool because it not only comes across in, like, everything you're knowledgeable about, but it also comes across in just your demeanor. Because, like, when people walk in sometimes, and you're just so inviting and welcoming to people. And that's, like, genuinely you as a human.
I love people.
Yeah,
and I love when they come into the shop.
Yeah.
It's like family coming in, and I get so excited because I get to share everything that I
And you really do.
I do, and I get so excited with them. And yeah.
So your dad passing, you said, was the thing that impacted your life and also in some weird way inspired you.
Yes.
And, like, blessing and curse in the same thing. But, like, leading up to your dad passing away, what are some of the memories that you remember? Like not even an actual story, but, like, emotions and things.
It's true. It's exactly how I still feel.
Yeah.
And
how long has your dad been passed?
Over 3 years now. So,
has it been 3?
Yeah, over 3, I'm sure.
Feels like yesterday.
Yeah, it definitely feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
I still feel like he's here with me every day.
Yeah.
I know he's in the shop. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's there.
He never left. But,
yeah.
Yesterday was really hard because 40 is a milestone. And so I feel like I finally am on the right path. And at 40, I feel like I've reached a lot. And so it's sad not to be able to share it with the one that, inspires you.
But I wonder, it's like, I think about this for me too. I wonder if, like, it took them going up for us to, like, get it together. Like, they're, like, literally like puppets. Like, bitch, go forward.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
Get your shit together.
Yeah. And, like,
probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so. I know. Yes. Yeah. It's definitely made me sink or swim. It made me grow up. Like I said, at almost 40, I had to learn how to balance my life, my checkbook, my balance. I was his caretaker, but he truly took care of me as well. And so I knew some of those things, but I didn't have to practice them. And so when he was gone, it was all me, and Francisca. And so it was, she thrives during that time, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So it was a lot, but I swam. Yeah. And I learned a lot about life in a very short amount of time. And I'm thankful for it all.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, how can you not be, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So when you're talking about all of this, inspiring, moving forward, learning everything, what in that, like, if you could just say it in a nutshell, what in that empowers you?
The people. I think the community, like, empowers me to move forward, to want to do better, to bring new things. Here in Texas, we're just starting this whole cannabis revolution. Yeah. And so I've been in it for quite some time, so I've seen a lot of it. And to weed out the crap and bring the best, we're only going to start, at the best place. And so it's it's exciting, and that empowers me because people are excited. They want to learn. They want to get to know about it. So that makes me want to keep doing what I'm doing.
And you want people to trust you.
Yes.
Because,
number one, that's the whole thing. We open Mary J to get the trust of the community, because when Texas does move forward, which it will, we want to bring you the best products possible.
Yeah.
What I would use myself, what I would have given my father, what I would tell my friends about.
Yeah.
Yes, because there's a lot of crap.
There's a lot of crap.
A lot of crap.
And it's weird because I've learned that just by being your friend and like listening to your stories, or hell, some of the products that I've bought, and then we find out it's not working, and you instantly take them back, and you're sending it back to the manufacturer and talking about it with them, and it's like this. It's a really cool thing.
Thank you.
It's really cool. I've always like loved you as a human, and like watching you grow your store and your relationship has just been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
They absolutely have.
I love you, girl. Thank you.
I love you too. I really
definitely.
do. So, what's one thing that people fail to realize about you?
I don't know. It's a good one. Maybe that I am depressed, that I still am depressed. You know, I think people see me always happy. I leave all that stuff at home. When I walk out the door and into the world to start the day, to enter in these people's lives, I want it to all be positive and great energy. So, you know, maybe that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize is some of us that are walking around as happy as can be are the most depressed, but like have this for real notion that like there's no point in passing that off to everybody.
You got it.
Like
you got it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. There's so much negativity in this world, and that we all go through every day, and you do not know what that person has to go home to or has to deal with. And so if you can just smile at one person or have a great conversation of nothing but positivity and love, it's, you know, that can make their one day. That can make their day. And so I don't want to bring any negativity into anybody's life.
Yeah.
So
if we were talking about like throwing it up or exposing it, and you had to put it into pounds, your level of depression into pounds, and we're talking, let's go 1,000 pounds is like all the way, and then 1 pound is like skinny bitch needs a carrot. It's not that bad. Like I can like meditate out of it. Where do you feel like you are?
I'm more on the heavier. I like the big pounds.
Yeah, I mean thickness is fine.
Yes. I am. I'm on the heavier side for sure. I have a lot of shit to still go through and deal with, which I am.
Yeah.
This year, I'm learning how to turn around and point the finger at me and deal with me and, you know, treat myself.
Be kind to yourself.
Be kind to myself. Love myself. Learn who I am again.
And it's not easy.
No, it is the hardest thing. I am a caregiver. I think that's why I do what I do. I want to take care of everybody, right? But when you have to take care of yourself, it is the hardest thing to do. And so it's taken me, you know, we're in April, and I'm barely just starting that to take care of yourself. So I'm excited.
What are you doing to take care of yourself?
I have been going to see a therapist.
Okay.
Not therapist like talk. I need to do that still. It's on the list.
It's interesting.
But body therapy. Because right now I am dealing with a lot of nerve damage, and that comes from stress, and that comes from keeping everything bottled in. So my body, that's how I deal with my depression. I take it, I swallow it, and like I told you earlier, I bury it down below. Well, my body is done burying it, and so now all these things are happening to me, and I'm having to deal with, you know, my issues and my problems, and every week is something new, but it feels really good to strip these layers back. And
do you feel vulnerable right now?
Always. Yes, definitely. In here with you, this whole year, especially turning 40 yesterday, I didn't know how to feel. Everybody was very excited. Like, what do you want to do? Where are you going to go, you know, to eat dinner? And you're going to get dressed up. And I just wanted to go away and go to the next day. And I don't need to be like that. I need to embrace it. This is a milestone, like I said. And this is, you know, I'm 40. There's so much more from here. So that leads me to where I do need to take care of myself. Or I will not be here to be able to provide to the community and do what I love and take care of people. So
What overwhelms you?
Fuck, man. Life.
Shit.
Life.
You could never say something more serious. Like, sometimes, like, I wish that I could just, like, and stay under my covers.
Nobody sees me.
Yeah, or not even because nobody sees me, like, it's just me in my bed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, nothing, it's just you. And
yeah. And it's pretty rough. Like, I'm having to realize that it's not because I'm not a morning person, because I'm appreciative when I, like, do get up and move around.
Yeah.
It's more about the fact that, like, I just want to be in my fucking bed.
Right.
You are listening to the Lorraine Infinity Let's Talk podcast. That's LRI, Let's Talk. What's your favorite thing about yourself?
I think that's my heart.
Okay.
I love that I am able to love everyone. I love that I'm so positive. I love that I don't let the negative overwhelm me and take over me, and I love to be positive. I love that about myself. Even when I am depressed, I didn't know I was. Francisca came to me and said, "Hey, I think you're depressed," and I laughed. I was like, "What?" She was going to counseling because she didn't know how to deal with my depression.
Mm-hmm.
And she even came to me and said, "I'm going to therapy." I was like, "What's wrong with you?" I mean, I was just living every day. She's like, "That's why I'm going to therapy. I don't know how to deal with you. I love you and I'm here, but it's been almost a year and I've just been here and we don't really talk and we're just here."
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm here and I've never lost a parent and I don't know how long it takes, but I just want to let you know this is kind of what I think and this is what I see. And at that moment, it just snapped. Like, what had I been doing for a whole year?
I feel like we had a conversation and talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
But how profound is that for her to go to therapy, to stay with you?
Yeah. I'm
like,
surprised
isn't
she
that
did not leave.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised.
I feel like you've said that to me before too. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm surprised she's not gone.
Yeah. It's true. There's many.
Because this is when you were still living in the house.
Yeah. And there were many. I mean, when we met, she's like, "It's so cute. You take care of your dad. You work in an adult store." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then when she finally moved here, she's like, "Oh shit. Like, you really take care of your dad. Like, it's full time." And she quit her whole life, career, everything to step into my life, drop everything to take care of my dad and what was going on in my life. And all those butterflies and fun things that you get to do when you're in a new relationship, we never experienced that. It was straight into my life with my father and what was going on. And never once did she complain. Never once did she say anything, give me attitude, leave, nothing. Her parents jumped in. They helped feed him, helped bathe him, helped watch him when we were working. Like, everybody came in and helped like family. And it just showed me that she's 100. She's my ride or die. Like, we've been through a lot in the 5 years we've been together. And I mean, a lot. Deaths, opening a business, losing, our animals. I mean, just tons of things that everybody goes through. But, we really don't know each other still.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to get to know each other.
So would you rather be crazy rich or deeply in love?
Deeply in love, for sure.
Okay.
You can always work hard to be rich. Money does ugly things.
So does love.
But love is the most beautiful feeling, gift, like everything that you can experience in life. It is truly the most powerful energy, and it's the most beautiful. So that, rich, you can't buy that. You can buy a lot of things that you think will make you happy, but you'll never truly be happy. I've seen a lot of people, and they're never happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could pick the moment that you pass, and you could say whatever you wanted to say and pick your final words, what would your final words be?
Ooh. That this is a celebration of a life, of to be a celebration. That's what we'll celebrate. Celebrate this life, celebrate this time that we had together. Smoke hella fucking joints, blunts. Enjoy each other, enjoy the time, reminisce, but it should be a celebration. And I hope that people go on and love each other and be good to each other. So
that, yeah, okay. So basically when you die, you want to party.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Free charge. Got
That's it, girl. That is it. I want y'all to jam out and fucking smoke and laugh about our times together and enjoy it.
And
it
just
should be
enjoy
something celebrating. You shouldn't be sad. No.
Okay.
It's always fun and joking and love and light. It should be that way. The one funeral I will always remember is my best friend's dad. And we went and they played music and they reminisced about all the great times each of his friends had with him. I said, this is the way I want my funeral. If I have one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, it should be a celebration. And I cried in joy. In remembering all these beautiful times that these people speak of.
Yeah. If you didn't see me cry in 2018, then you don't know me.
Exactly.
Because I was crying about everything. I'd walk
when we walk past each other,
we start crying. Every time we walk by each other, we would cry before the pop-ups that we would have. We'd cry after them.
The pop-up with the rainbow.
With the rainbow.
And you hugged me and said, that's our dad's.
Yeah. That was crazy. It was right after my dad passed. Yeah. And it was the first pop-up. Oh.
I remember that. And it was
remember. Yeah, tell the story while I get myself together.
Girl, it was so good. So you're on the mic. I just got done talking. We're having an event. There's this huge rainbow in the sky behind us. And as both of us go to turn around to hang the mic up, we look up in the sky and everybody's like, there's a rainbow. And she's like, that's our dad's. That's our dad's. Because the event was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was our 1-year anniversary. And there was a line around the corner. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Wasn't it?
No.
Wasn't it that one?
It was the one right
before that.
It was the one, so Dad passed on the 26th. It was the one May. It was the May one.
The May one.
It was the May one.
But it was so huge.
It was huge.
Huge.
And it was clear as day. And it was bright outside.
That's right. And there was just a random rainbow.
Yeah, behind CVS.
Yes, behind CVS. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
It was.
Yeah, I felt that for sure.
That was profoundly crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. It's so weird how all these podcasts go their own direction. It really is.
It's true, though.
Okay. Yep. Were you adopted as a baby?
As a baby. You got
okay.
As a newborn.
And were your parents pretty, upfront about that? Or were they, cloak and dagger and you found out randomly?
Exactly that.
Really?
Yes. Cloak and dagger.
Wow. How'd you find out?
I just knew at a young age. I guess I like to sit back and watch and inspect. And so I would sit back and kind of watch my parents drink and their mannerisms and things they would do. And I just didn't feel like I related to that. I didn't feel like I belonged there. I knew something was different. And so I went to them and I said, Mom and Dad, am I different? And my mom slapped the shit out of me. And I was probably maybe 10 years old, maybe a little bit younger than that. And she starts crying. She's drunk. My dad says, no, you're not different. You're fine. And so go to your room. And I'm like, oh my God, all I did was ask if I was different. Here I am crying, slapped by my mom. And so they came to me, I think a few days later, and said, we need to sit down and talk. You're very special. And usually when parents have kids, they just get what they get. You were picked. So you were very, very special. And this is why. Your parents, you have other parents, and we adopted you. You're adopted from birth, and your parents couldn't afford you, and so we wanted a little baby, and we knew people that knew, of people having a baby, and so we did a private adoption, and you are adopted.
Oh, it wasn't through an agency or anything?
No, it was private. And so that's, I think I'm going to go crazy, because I just don't relate at all. At all. I just felt bad and want to take care of them. So I just, yes. So when I found out that I was different and I was picked, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
But I didn't think anything of it really too much or look into it. My mother made it really clear that she was my mom and that, she was my mother. She made it very clear that she just, so I didn't look into anything. I knew that was my mom and dad. And that I was adopted, and that.
What do you mean she made it clear?
By how angry she would get, or things she would say, or little jabs she would throw, of just how she's my mom, how she's my mom, and how it would really hurt her, or upset her, if I went to a look or
the mother guilt.
For sure.
That mothers do.
For sure.
Some good, some not so good.
You got it.
So is that how you would have wanted that to play out, or would you have just preferred they told you when you were toddler? Like, how would you like
Right.
that?
I was glad the way it came out. Me just discovering, or I guess questioning, asking, and I wouldn't have wanted to get the answer like that. But I'm sure it was a shock to them too.
Did your
young?
Right. Did your parents, and I'm saying parents as in your adoptive parents, but those are your parents.
Yes.
Did your parents know your birth family, or did they knew them?
So they said they got to meet them because it was a private adoption. They sat down with them, talked to them, figured out like hospital things, paying for stuff because it was a private adoption.
Yeah.
And so they said they did get to meet with them. And I remember when we finally get to open this discussion again and talk about it, my father told me, your mother is a short, petite Guatemalan, and your father is tall and Scottish, and they're very sweet people. They didn't have very much, and they already had another child. And so instead of aborting you, they wanted to give you a chance. And so we knew people that they knew in the school district. And so they reached out and said, Mr. and Mrs. Graham, we have a baby here for you in the next 24 hours. It was really fast. So
It was really fast.
It was really fast, yeah.
Okay.
I want to say within like a month, they knew, they met them. They started everything with her, taking care of her, make sure she was good. And then I came, so.
And I've always heard you talk about your dad, but where's your mom?
She's passed as well.
Okay.
She passed 16 years before Larry.
Wow.
From cirrhosis and cancer as well. Same thing as him.
Okay, so this is some real shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So alcoholism was
took her down.
for both of them,
yes.
pretty much?
Yes.
Okay.
My adopted brother that I grew up with, adopted at birth, same thing. And he started going down that path pretty heavy. Yeah. And then, something made him snap. And he's just never touched alcohol. It's been probably a decade, I guess. Wow. Both of us, We just smoke, no drinking. Yeah. Yeah, it's a scary thing. I saw it take both their bodies down. I have my dad recorded. I've got pictures of what it does to your body. I really wish I would have documented my mother to show women. But a reason I documented my father and his journey with alcoholism and the way his skin and the body, what alcohol does to it, and the graphic pictures that I have to show people. I want, if someone is struggling, I want to be able to show them that and maybe share my story with them, and maybe it'll help them. My dad always wanted help, and he had to go to jail many times, and that's, I think, the reason he lasted so much longer than my mother is because he was forced to stop drinking. Oh. Right? And so Mom just kept drinking pretty heavy. And in fact, when she passed, the town was like, what did she pass from? And, it was like cirrhosis. They're like, she drank? So, yeah, she hid it that well. Oh, wow. She hid it that well. Huh. So, yeah.
That's really serious.
Yeah, super serious.
So, adopted family. Yeah. You were their only child.
Yes. My birth parents?
No.
No, Larry and Joe. Yeah. Yep. No. No. Larry had 2 older sons.
What?
Like in their 30s, probably.
Did you ever meet them?
Yes, I've met them both. Yeah.
Did they remind you of Larry?
Big time.
Cool.
Look like him, everything. It's
by
crazy.
the same mom or no?
Different moms. Okay. But that's been over probably 15 years. They weren't here at the end with him. They didn't really check in with him. Got it. Anything like that. But I knew of them. Okay. Yeah.
So your birth family in California, right? Okay. And mom and dad, a Guatemalan mother. And you were their firstborn, second, third?
First daughter, second born.
First daughter, second born. And then you get adopted. And then are there more kids after that?
There are 3 more.
So.
And the family's still together.
Yeah. So, and recently, because I know you've actually flown out and met these people.
Met them.
Your blood.
Yes. Years ago.
Yeah.
Larry, when he was still alive, he flew me out to California to meet them. And I went to LA, probably for 3-4, maybe a week. And I got to meet them, and it's the most crazy experience ever. I was in this huge, I remember, I can close my eyes and see it. Kamora Lee Simmons was in the LAX airport, and they were filming her show. And the film crew was there, her kids were there, they were buying sunglasses, and it was like, whoa, I watched this show on TV, and I get to watch it in real life, right? And I'm walking through the airport to go to where I need to go to claim my bag. And I stopped for a minute, I'm watching all the commotion, and people are like, oh my gosh, it's getting real packed and stuff. And I was like, all right, I need to go get my bag. So I'm heading down the stairs, and all these sea of people, I hone in on this family. And I just start crying. And I look at them like, oh my goodness, that's me. That is me. They look just, I've never met anybody that looked like me. Or when I meet my families, like meet my friends' families, you see that they look like their parents.
Yeah.
So I always wondered who I look like or if anybody or whatever. And so when all these sea people, I look down and they're crying too. And I'm like, wow. And as soon as I'm like, they come up and hug me. And it was not even awkward. It's like I've known them forever. Uh-huh. It was the most surreal experience.
How old were you?
Crazy. Early mid-20s.
Mid-20s, okay.
Yeah, mid-20s-ish. Yeah, it was definitely crazy. And then to hear my mom and dad's side of, you know, some things weren't truth on my parents' side. So, of course, on my mother's side, Jan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and it made sense. I knew she was crazy, so things that...
What kind of stuff?
Gosh, so... talking about how she would tell me, your mom and dad really didn't want you and things like that. And of course, I didn't believe that, right? And so when I met them, I'd ask them, and she said, we loved you. Like we were young. We already had a child. We could not afford another child. We couldn't even afford the three of us. So instead of ending your life, we wanted to give you life. And give you a chance. And so the best thing for us was to adopt you out. She said it caused problems with her and my dad, and they were going to get separated. And then when she had me, the nurses are not supposed to tell you what you have or let the mother touch the baby or anything like that. And the nurse was training. And she goes to hand me to her and says, you're the most beautiful baby girl. And the other nurse says, no, don't let her touch her. She's not supposed to know anything about the baby sex, anything about her, like anything. So they wrap me up, and my mom says that's the last
Your mom
thing
never
she
touched
remembered. You. No.
Girl.
Never, right? And so...
but she saw you.
Yes, and she knew I was a girl. And she knew my name was Janelle, but it was going to be Janelle because of my parents meeting with her and things. I guess they talked. So a lot of the stories that my parents had told me, certain little details didn't really match up. You know, and yes, I want to believe... you know, my adopted parents, but some things just in your gut feel right.
Right. Yeah.
And so, I spent time with them. I got to learn about them. She told me, well, the first time when I met them, how I found them was I was cleaning out a garage. My mom had just passed, and a box fell down and had all my adoption paperwork in it. Mind you, I hadn't talked about my adoption since I was younger. Right? We put all that away. I didn't even know I had paperwork, anything like that. And so as I'm cleaning her house out to sell it, that box falls down. I'm looking through it. I'm like, oh my God, these are my parents' names, Annette and Butch McPherson. I'm like, oh my goodness. So at that point, I was having some female problems, and they're like, you need to get with your family because this is a big decision if you want to, you know, have a hysteroscopy or not. I sent a whole bunch of letters out. I want to say like almost 10 letters to Annette and Butch McPherson in California in this area. And I had a lady call me back and say, God bless you. I just want to let you know if you can scratch this address off the list. They don't live here. This is who I am. Okay. About 3 weeks later, I get another call as a female. And she said, is Janelle there? I said, this is she. She's like, can you sit down? I said, yes. Who is this? She's like, this is your mother. I said, for real, for real? And she starts laughing. And she's like, of course. She said, for real, for real. And I was like, wow. And she's like, I need you to sit down. I said, okay. And at this time, MySpace was huge. Yeah. Right? And she said, can you get on MySpace? And I said, yeah. She's like, I want to let you know that you have an older brother. Your father and I are still together. And you have another brother and 2 sisters. And if you have a MySpace, you can look us up. You can see us on there, on your sisters. And so I looked them up, and I was like, oh my goodness. They looked me up. They're like, oh my gosh. Like, you are related to us. And all this crazy stuff. So that's when Larry flew me out there to meet them. Yeah. And all that good stuff. So,
but how do you feel about brother, you out of the picture, and then they had other kids,
crazy, though? Right?
Right.
I don't know how, honestly.
What's the age gap?
So I believe Josh is my older brother. He is probably 42 or 43. I just turned 40. My younger brother is probably like 2 years younger than me, and then another 2 years, and then maybe a year or two. Okay. So it's not too far. Okay. I don't feel any kind of way. I know I probably should.
No, I mean,
I guess, or something, but from the moment I met them till now, like, people go through things in life, situations, those negative things, the things
Yeah.
we talked about earlier. We don't know what anybody's going through.
Yeah.
They gave me a chance, and look at the life they gave me.
Yeah.
I ended up, yes, with alcoholics that probably mentally screwed me up, in a lot of ways, but it also made me who I am and made me strong.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me the ability to give back.
Are you enjoying what you're hearing? Follow us on Instagram at LRI Let's Talk.
Rainbows of green. Money. Oh. Is that have you ever been to a strip club?
Many times.
Okay.
Many times.
Yeah.
Back in my younger years, yes.
Your younger years. What?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so
Yeah, when I worked at the adult shop, we partnered a lot with strip clubs, so I was there. We did things with them all the time. But yeah, I would go when I was younger. I'd take my dad all the time. Not all the time, but many times. Took him to our work functions. It was great.
you took your dad?
Oh, yes. Yes. We'd smoke one down before we go, get in there, and give him some dollar bills and let him go crazy, slap some girls' booties. Like, he loved it.
I feel like in 2 or 3 more years, if my dad would have survived, I would have had him being, like, full-on smoking.
Yes.
Like, I feel like, because people would be like, you're so da-da-da, and you made me do that. I'm like, no, I'm just simply the facilitator of your dreams. If you're around me, I'm not a judgy person, like, as far as, like, do what you're going to do.
Right.
I'm more judgy if you're going to let me be because you didn't own it. Like, you know what I mean? So I just feel like, I could have seen my dad, like, 2 or 3 years sitting on my patio with me smoking and stuff. And I think that's the stuff that scares me the most is that I'm going through pictures and I'm looking for that picture like I was earlier today. And then I stopped seeing pictures of my dad show up in the pictures.
I know, it's hard.
And I was like,
I know.
like every time I'm like, fuck, this is like real. It's like super real.
It's true. I have a file, just a folder for just him now.
Of what?
Of just my dad's pictures and things like that. Because you're
scared to forget.
Yeah. My brother has his voicemails, and it's really impressive. So when we hang out weekly, we get to listen to those.
Okay.
That's really it's funny. It makes me laugh and cry at the same time, but mostly laugh.
Where do you see the world in a decade, a quarter century, a half century, a century from now? Where? What are we doing? What's going on?
In my head and in my little perfect rainbows, lollipops, and sunshine world that goes on in my head.
Okay.
I would love to see us rebuild this world. I would love to see people getting along. Everybody is equals. I would love to see us make changes. Finally, quit talking about it and fucking do it.
Yeah.
It's like, how long are we going to do this for?
Yeah. Talking about what?
Change. People's minds, what we're doing to the earth, everything.
Do you think the ozone is actually like going away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. I watch Planet Earth.
Yeah.
I watch that
Global
shit.
Warming?
All of it. I'm born on Earth Day.
Yeah.
Yes, I see it. We're destroying it. I am. We're destroying it. It's, we're taking over all this land. It's, yes, I hope to see change. I hope us to see us be smarter, work together, love each other.
Okay. So that's what you hope to see.
Yes.
So where do you think the world's going to be?
Right, where do you...
In that same outside of your bubble of rainbows, which I love, and we need a lot of fixing and healing, like, on so many levels. But where do you think the world's actually going to go?
Well, I think we'll all be green. That's for sure. Each state will be green, and that's going to make me really happy.
She got real serious, y'all.
I did, y'all. We're talking real business now.
Yeah.
I think the world will be green. I think we'll all be moving forward. I think that, a lot of the uptight people will be up and gone. There'll be a whole new generation taking over. There'll be change. I really, truly believe it. This younger generation that's going to be taking care of us when we get older, they want to see change. Yeah. They're awake.
Yeah.
They're woke.
They're way woke.
Right?
These motherfuckers are protesting.
Right. I see
They're
kids
like
writing papers on stuff I didn't even know what that was in a certain grade.
Our 9-year-old black girl magic producer.
You got it.
Whoa.
You got it.
I'm like, dang.
These are the people that are going to take care of us.
Yeah, they are. And I was listening to NPR. NPR is going to have to, like, give me a plug because I talk about them all the time. When you're talking about the future.
Yes.
You're getting married.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing. I am shocked, amazed, excited, grateful, all of it. I honestly didn't think we were going to get married ever.
Why?
We've had many talks of marriage. She said that if she proposes or gets married, it will be one time and one time only. That she feels in her heart like this is how it should be. And once you're with that person, you're committed. And she doesn't know if that's reality, you know? So she said if she ever does it, or, you know, it's got to be really real. And I was like, wow. And so we've, you know, had those discussions. I told her, of course, I would love to be, right? But if we don't, like, I know she's my ride or die. I know, like you said, like, we're so connected. Mm-hmm. We've been through the worst of worst times, and she's seen me through it all and lifted me up and been there 100%, never been negative. We've never fought. We're adults. We talk about issues. Like, we're just so good for each other, but so opposite, but so the same, right? And so the night she proposed, it was New Year's Eve, and her face was swollen from her wisdom teeth coming in. I think one of the cats was throwing up next to me on the bed. This is the story of our life. This is like reality. The dog had to go out potty. Like, it's just all this chaotic, but we're in bed and we had the day off and we're enjoying our, like, one of our first days off, I think, of the holidays of the year. And so she's like, I need to read you something. And I said, oh shit, did we get a bad review? Because she got real serious all of a sudden. And she's like, I just need to read you something.
And she was on the reviews.
Of course, she was on her phone.
She
so
would
I'm
be
thinking,
no,
right,
but like
right,
she would stay on top of them, and we'd be like,
looking at that stuff, right? We're always afraid for a bad review.
of course.
You know, we don't want anybody to have a negative experience,
even if they're a shitty person.
I just don't want. Yeah, I want everybody to have a great experience, and so we're always, you know, looking out for that. And so I said, "Is it a bad review?" And she's like, "It's just something serious I need to talk to you about." I said, oh shit. So girl, I roll over, I'm looking at her like real serious, what's going on? And she's looking at her phone and she starts reading all this stuff and I'm listening to her, but I'm not really like listening. I'm like waiting for the bad stuff. And she's like, you know, and I love, you know, what a great person you are and your big heart. And I just kind of start like watering up my eyes. I'm like, wait, she's talking about me. You know,
you still thought it was for you.
Yes. And I'm like,
okay,
all right, what's going on? And she's just like, you make me a better person and you make me so happy and, you know, all this stuff. And she's like crying and I'm crying. I'm like, how sweet of you to write this to me. Like, this is the most amazing. Thank you for writing this to me. Mm-hmm. And she pulls out a fucking ring. Girl, you know, when you cry so hard, nothing comes out. And it just...
That dry heave cry?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, just going and probably like a few minutes. She's like, does this mean yes? Like, well, hey. You know, and I'm like, yes. Like, what? Where did this come from? What the hell are you thinking? Like, what... She's like, I'm thinking that I want to marry you. And I'm like, this just shows me a whole nother level of your commitment. She told me many people knew we were going to try to do something.
She did tell people.
I got sick and it just like, then my mother, excuse me, my birth mother, she went into a coma. And so she was going to do it a few days before that. And so everything kind of had to be put on hold and I had to fly out to Cali to go see her for 24 hours and then come back. And so was it a few weeks after that she proposed? Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of this, tons of emotions, but just shocked is the biggest word I think I can say.
Yeah,
shocked, but grateful.
That's really cool. So do you have like plans for like the wedding? Like, what are you gonna do? Have you decided if it's gonna be in Austin?
I don't know yet. I know it's gonna be a canna wedding. There will be cannabis all over the place.
Yeah.
CBD, THC. There'll be alcohol for the people that enjoy that.
Yeah.
But I don't know yet. I know I want friends and family.
Yeah.
Definitely. Though we talked about maybe just kind of jumping off to Vegas and going and doing it that way. So who knows? We're about not planning. That's fair. She's very spontaneous.
So yeah, I really appreciate having you. Thank you. Like seriously. Because I know that you say you're an open book, but it's not like you sit and talk about some of the shit that we get to talk about all the time.
No.
So I do appreciate it. And thank you to everybody listening. And as always, tell your story, be your own brand, live your truth, and stand in your moment.
Alrighty, y'all. My name is Jay Graham. I'm 40 years old, and I hope you'll have the most amazing day and that you have it filled with positivity and joy. And you just listen to my story as I live my truth and stand in my moment on the LRI Infinity Let's Talk podcast.
Have you ever looked at somebody or their circumstances and wondered, what is it like being the oldest in a military family? Would I be a good lawyer? And would I refuse to go to the ER to complete a work assignment? Next time, my big sister, Zenobia, will be sharing her journey and telling her story on the LRI Infinity Let's Talk podcast.